Hello, guys, welcome to this podcast, Everyday Talkies, which ironically does not come out daily. I am Anshul and I talk about random things to random people, majorly about life, perspectives, and thinking process. It's like an interview, or let's say more of a conversation with one or two guests about random topics that interest us. To be really honest, it's just a way to reduce my inhibitions in talking to people. So come join me and enjoy. Hello, guys, welcome to the new episode of Everyday Talkies, or should I say Startup Talkies. So, here I have with me Dhaval back again as a guest, and along with him, Maheep, or as we lovingly call him, Meep, as the guest for this podcast. So, today I thought to bring them again, my college mates, to talk about the startup, the media architects, and we'll get to know more about them personally, about their company, and learn about what they're doing and how much energy it takes to start a company in these tough times. So let's jump right in. So Dhaval, I think people know you now. So let's start with Maheep. For that, first tell me, what did you study and what are you currently doing? And how did you get associated with media architects?
Okay, so it all started when I joined Christ, okay, and the first day, and we were all introducing, even Anshul, you were there, and then Kishore sir asked us to introduce ourselves and tell any one thing, and then what do we likes and what any disadvantage we have or something. And then everyone spoke fine, but when Dhawal came, he asked everyone to go for a photo walk with him.
That's so embarrassing. That's so embarrassing.
So in Christ, initially, I used to sit with you, Debanjana, and everyone, but towards the end, I found people with my same interest, because I used to do videography in my school, and then I was interested in photography. So that part really struck to me, that I need to do something more in digital terms. So I joined SW and I was doing media there. And after this college, I was doing bachelor's in computer application. Then I thought I like coding as well, and I thought I should do more in coding, and I could do this thing, media thing, in the side. So I always thought that I could do photography and media at the side. It all really began working, me and Dhaval working together when we were taking photos for Darpan, the event, and me and Dhaval were taking photos together, okay, and we submitted the photos together as well. And luckily I got selected for the cultural team, and I didn't even knew what cultural team was at that point. I joined there, and then that phase, the whole year I was there in all the events wherever the college took us, and I gained a lot of experience there itself. Plus also Dhaval helped me throughout, how to handle camera, how to keep the best settings. Even in editing he helped me. And Dhaval used to go on his personal projects, and he needed some help in Photoshop and all, which I was good at, so I used to help him there. Cause we shared the same flat with Aditya, and then it was a really nice environment to work there, which helped here. There is always Aditya or Dhaval, and if even Dhaval needs help, there's always Aditya and me. So that was really nice. And then we met Piyush and Avi there as well. Since PG I know Piyush and Avi, so that's why I was involved in initially me and Dhaval, we thought we should do something digital as well, so we thought we could work with Piyush and Avi initially, and then it went well. The working it was a very creative process to go through all the working in Big Bang, because they were actually first year I wasn't there. I was here in I was in Dublin. Yeah, I was in Dublin doing masters, and they had their first Big Bang Fest in Jaipur, and Dhaval went and he spoke there. Even I also wanted to do be there physically, but I couldn't. So I managed to do help them in graphics and something, and then few ideation and all. And that's how I joined the Big Bang Media. Dhaval was already there before me. Then while working with Big Bang Media, we thought that because we're doing something for Piyush and Avi, their own startup, and then we thought that there is a possibility, because we both if there is a task, we didn't even need to divide it among us. It was already divided. Who would be doing that part? If I am busy, Dhaval would take over. If Dhaval is busy, I'll take over. This combination, the balance was there. So we thought that we could actually do work professionally. And then we saw there is so many people who does not even know how to use the basic alignment thing. When you make a post, it should be appealing to the users. And then we saw lot of digital media marketing teams doing those, and it still wasn't up to that level. So what we thought was if we could provide that high level and at a very basic approach, contacting our friends if they need help.
So let me ask you one thing. You talked about your college journey and then how you met Dhaval and your association with Big Bang Media and then with Media Architects. So, talk to us, like you briefly mentioned that you're currently in Dublin doing a master's, and you also mentioned that you were doing media as a side work. So
Yeah.
I wanted to understand, like, how are you finding the balance? Like, what are you actually studying there in masters, first of all, and which one are you more inclined to? I know I'm asking you certain life questions which might be difficult to answer, so feel free to be as vague as possible. But I understand, like, just for people who are like us, like all of us are in generation, are confused on what to choose and what not to choose. So, like, have you found the correct balance?
No, I haven't found the correct balance. Like, I think I still need like few more years to understand what I really want to do. And to be honest, this has been really great adventure, like working with Media Architects, and like we're serious thinking to expand. And now it's my decision to, okay, first of all, I started what I'm doing here. So I was in computer applications for my bachelor's, and there I had interest in this graphic designing, media, and then photography, and as well as coding. Like, me for coding, like we used to do this coding assignments and all the all the fest work together. So then I thought that I should not leave this part as well, because there is there's definitely a long future invested in coding. So I thought if I could expand my knowledge in that aspect, then I think I would be more resourceful for Media Architects or any other startup that I think of. So I'm currently doing Masters in Business Analytics. So it's basically about project management and machine learning and how to use neural networks and different machine learning algorithms into real life scenarios, how to create insights for businesses.
So it's basically, I think it's one of my probably future passions as well. Probably I would like to delve into it because it is a right amalgamation of, the business world as well as the technological world, because technology is
Correct.
useful when it's present in business, right? So you can't just use technology willy-nilly for nothing. So it has to provide some objective. So I think that way it's a correct mixture. And as you mentioned, you're still struggling to find the right balance between, media and your professional studies. But I'm sure you'll find something. So, I'll just ask Dhaval something. We already know who you are. You had already told to us how, like, your college journey in the last episode and how you came to be in the startup culture. So talk to us specifically about the Media Architects, like how you came up with the idea, what was the initiation, what sparked the interest, and what is it exactly do you provide?
Okay, so I will start off with like 4 or 5 years back when I started photography. So when I was doing photography, I used to post pictures online all the time. Like, even if it's a bad picture, I would post it. Even if it's a good picture, I would post it. And then, I started figuring out how social media actually works. And, it was a very low-key interest. So if anyone would ask me, I would know how everything is working and what should be the aesthetics of the grid, or what should be posted on Facebook, or what should be posted on Instagram. But I never thought of it as a career choice. So I think so probably in November or December when I was working with Big Bang, at that time the interest really sparked, because I thought, okay, this is something that I can really do. And even in college when we had fest, and I was very interested in photography, but as well as the media aspects, like handling the social media aspects of the fest. So that skill also helped me a lot. And when I was working with Big Bang, I thought this is something that I can really do. And there was a bit of technical side as well. Yeah, that's how I started. And in Media Architects, it's basically a startup, and we offer everything under the roof. Say, for example, digital marketing, branding, or social media management, website development. And maybe in the future, we might venture into app development. But at the moment, we are doing this. And if someone wants to, get their photos or videos produced for their brand, we even do that. So it's basically, a one-stop destination for all your digital needs.
Nice. That's interesting to know, because I was also thinking that given your social media presence, I was also thinking that there were other events also that you conduct under this, or was it not part of this? Like, are there any other personal projects that you have undertaken as well, other than Media Architects?
No, not yet. Like, it's just photography, which is my personal page, and the Media Architects, and I've worked with Big Bang. So that's it. But yeah, I have managed several accounts for social media. Like, I have managed accounts for our college fests, and then there are some clients who wanted some temporary management for their pages, but not really long term, before Media Architects.
When I got to know about Media Architects and all of that, and when we were talking about Big Bang Media even in the last episode, the one thing which came to my mind was that Media Architects is like a one-stop consultancy, you could say. I know it's a very vague word. I should not say this, so please, object me if I'm wrong. But it's like a one-stop destination for all your media needs. Now, Big Bang is basically a client for you. I'm just giving an example. So you provided your services to them, and then if any other client comes or if any other company comes, you might give the services to them as well. So it's like both of your expertise providing services to different companies or startups or whatever that might be.
Yeah, so the name media architect is, what does an architect do? He designs the building. He's not a builder. He doesn't create things, but he helps in shaping the entire thing so it looks good. That's how we thought that we should be the media architects. We shape the brand's online and everything, the digital presence, how the brand should communicate to the customers and everything. So I can't really say that Big Bang is my client, because when I started, I was really a co-founder in Big Bang, but then I realized that I think I can do something on my own. So I started media architects, and now I have brands. Some people come for website development, some come for social media marketing, some even come for just the picture thing. They just want their products clicked and put them on social media. So now, because I have the expertise of social media, I know what sort of pictures I have to click. So there's a big gap which I've seen in industry. Say for example, one brand, they consult a photographer, they say I want my product to be clicked to put on Instagram, but they are only good at photography. They don't know how the digital world really works. They don't know how social media works. So there's a gap in between. So I think we are tapping that.
Yeah, I'm sure, like, if to tell you truly, I am the most social media illiterate person you would ever see. I am just there to be there because there is no other opportunity to reach out. Like, there's no other way to reach out to other people. I'm like the most illiterate person, so probably I'll have to take some training from both of you. But okay, coming more on that, and I'll open this question to both of you now. Like, both of you are part of Big Bang. Both of you are doing media architects. Both of you have personal projects. Dhaval, as you said, Maheep, you're studying there in Dublin. So how, like, even before the call we were discussing, right, that it becomes challenging when you're trying to manage all of that. It just becomes hard, right? So, and there's a matter of priority in things and all of that, and given the COVID scenario, it tends to have a mental impact. So I'm trying to understand, how are you managing across all these different portfolios or works, I could say, and just about that.
So I'll just tell you one thing. Like, I already told you the balance thing, and the second thing is, when a client comes to us, he is getting the sun model fulfilled, what the sun model is. So it's like 24-hour working on the same project, and the client gets to see the update every time he is looking at every time he asks Dhaval or me what's there is, and we are not at the same level of progress we were like few hours ago or maybe half a day ago. So that only comes into progress, like, because Dhaval is in India. If he gets a client from India, he can work through his day and then he can sleep at night. While for me, I can I can work at night, and for Dhaval, when I'm done, Dhaval would be awake, and then he would start working. So that is one possibility if we get a good client. And currently, whatever projects we have done it in a similar approach. So let's say if we have divided few tasks, so if Dhaval does a task A and then I'm supposed to do the task B, so either we can do them simultaneously, or if we are doing it parallelly, we have an application through which we can do both the work together. But let's say if Dhaval gets some other task, or he has to talk to his clients, or he's looking like someone else contacts him, so he will be going through that phase, and I would work, and then Dhaval can get the updates later, and then same thing would happen with me as well. And like recently my research was there, and I couldn't dedicate the whole of my time to the research. Then at that time Dhaval was taking over all the tasks, but whatever was possible I was able to do. So we were balancing again here.
And Anshul, what I think is, like, I'm very, very fortunate to find Maheep as a co-founder of Media Architects, because there are a lot of things which are involved in what I see in Maheep as a co-founder. So first of all, he's a very good friend, so automatically there is a level of trust in him. And second, the amount of skill sets he has and I have, they're almost on the same level. So anyone can work in the other person's absence. So because of this, the balancing of skills, we don't really need to talk very much ki abhi kya chal raha hai, ab kya chal raha hai. So we are almost every time on the same level, and then we are able to discuss it out very clearly and very fast, because he knows what I'm looking for. Our level of skills match, and the taste also matches. And the best thing is, I don't need to micromanage Maheep, or Maheep doesn't need to micromanage me. So we don't ask for a lot of changes ki ab ye kar, tujhse nahi hoga. It's not like that. So that's a great thing, because of that we don't need to really prioritize a lot of work, because if I am absent, if I am busy, I know that Maheep will take care of everything. and it's vice versa for Maheep as well.
Yeah, I think it is one of the perks when you're working with friends and when both of you are in different parts of the world. So as Maheep clearly stated, you can work 24/7 and the client won't really know. But as you mentioned about these clients and the different projects that you're undertaking, so let me ask you, both of you, even from college days until now, I won't just keep it to media architects, but if you want, take one of their projects. So which one was your a favorite project that you worked on, and talk to us about that?
There are a lot of projects actually which we really enjoyed, but recently I think in February we got a client for website development, and we started Media Architects, and I think that was our first client, and I would say it was a really good project because we didn't know anything about website development till February. So we started the company and we were saying that we can develop website, but we didn't really know the process of developing websites because we know how to do it, but we never really did it. And still the client entrusted us with our work, and he trusted us that we can do it, and that was a huge learning curve for us. We figured a lot of things out from it, and we still got paid for it. So I think that was the biggest, the best experience working with clients, because all the other clients, when they come, we already know how to do things. So I think it's kind of monotonous. Okay, we already know, we'll just quote the client and we'll just start working. But when there's a learning curve, there's a challenge, and when we are able to overcome it, so that really pushes us forward. And I think that was the most enjoyable client. I think this year we can say this year it was the best client.
Yeah, probably a good thing coming of this year, so that's not bad. Maheep, what about you?
So I don't pick favorites for my clients.
Oh, being too diplomatic.
I learn from every other client. To be honest, if I look at my old work, I'll be like, shit, what I have done. I could have done better. Even if you ask Dhaval, and if he goes to his old photos, he'll be like, shit, what have I taken? I could have taken so much better images. So that in every task that we do, we finish it and we're like, it's nice, but it could have been better, and then we try to implement this thing in the next iteration of whatever we do. So this is what my thinking is. I don't have my favorite yet.
Okay, I'm not talking in a very egoistic manner, but I think with every client that we are getting, we are outdoing ourselves. So the first client we did really average work, but now the clients we are getting, we are putting a lot of work and efforts into it. And I think when we compare it just 1 month back, we are improving a lot day by day.
One thing I want to tell you that, Anshul, see, we have created the website, and the first website that we created is still way better. And let's not talk about the money, but it's still less what we got paid for. But I see what the industrial level, or the how do you say, the actual level of when you go and buy from someone who has experience in web development, they can't provide that level of how do you say, because they have been working in the web development for too many years. And in India, mostly if you look at the bigger level, you can see all the good websites are there, but when you look at your own business going online, you don't know who to contact. And even if you do, they're gonna overcharge you, and they're gonna sell you something very cheap. They're gonna just give you all the services you want. You're like, I want to do online classes. I want to do podcasts. So they will, you will be able to do it on those websites. But those websites are not optimized for it. Those websites don't look like if you look at Amazon, it looks like it's something different. When you look at some other news site of any portfolio of something, you will see the difference of a portfolio made for made by a professional and made by an amateur. So what we are still amateurs, but we try to give that professional quality.
Yeah, I actually very much relate to your point, because I think this was one of the points which we discussed I think with Madhur as well, when he came and talked about Quaretia as well, because even he provided website building. So I think in a culture where we come from, where we have learned how to do these things, and when you see, I would say, not up to the mark product on the internet which are built by these big corporations who are charging innumerable amount of money, it becomes really difficult to justify that, and then you want to fill that gap. You feel the need to fill that gap. So I think that is where it comes from, and that is where the hard work and the passion comes from, to build the site or make it look creatively appealing for anybody. So one thing, I think probably anybody whosoever remembers this, so if you had to list all the things that you guys are good at or offer at Media Architects, what would that be? If let's say that a client has come in, or let's say if I have come in and now I want to check what do you provide in terms of services.
Okay, so when a client comes, I usually start off with what's your problem. So we are very problem centric. So whenever someone comes, I would ask you what's the issues you're facing. Now say for example someone comes for social media marketing, say for example, and then he says ki aap social media marketing karte ho? We'll say yes, we do it. He'll say how much do you charge, and then I'll say no, before that what's your problem with social media? Are you handling it yourself? Do you find it difficult to handle yourself? Have you outsourced it to another agency and you're not satisfied with it? What you're looking for? So as soon as you start talking about their problems, they would get more interested. And then we start slipping in our services. So say for example, he says, now I'm not getting, people who visit my website through my social media. So I'll say, okay, maybe your website is not good. Maybe they're visiting your website from social media, but your website is not good. So apart from social media, we can also help you make your website.
You're a true businessman, Dhaval. Surely.
And say for example, now I'm seeing his social media account as well, and he says, I'm not getting enough followers, I'm not getting enough organic reach. So I'll see, and I'll probably, I will say him, your pictures are not good. I think that's the problem. So maybe, we can shoot some products for you, and then we can see how it works. So, we slip in the services based on his problem. It's not like when he comes and see what we provide, we'll say, we provide digital marketing, we provide logo designing, we provide website development, we provide app development, we do photography. So, that will confuse the client because he's not looking for solution at that moment. He needs to
And to
get
be
his
honest,
problem solved.
sometimes clients don't even know what they want initially. So if they tell us their problem, we could better assess what they need. Let's say they want the product photography to be done, and their product is not even theirs. Like they are a trader and they want a website and they want their products to be photographed, and it's not their own manufactured product. So it doesn't make sense to go through the product photography phase or like to include that in our package, because it's not their product to be taken photo of. And if it's a brand, we could always get the photo from website. But if someone might have told them that they require a photograph, and if they go to a normal media handling team, they won't think twice about this problem. They would just take the photos and upload in their website.
So basically, you're more like, I would say, in a more personalized nature, because you deal with the clients upfront and you understand the problem, and then you try to tailor-made the solution. So I think that is where the USP comes in.
Yes, yeah. Even the quotation that we sent out to our clients, each and every quotation is different. Now, no matter it's a website, but each and every quotation is different. So if you ask me what's your problem and Maheep says me his problem, and both may look very similar, but then they seem very different when you go in a deeper level. So say for example, you both come for website development, but then your goals are different, his goals are different. Maybe you want to sell products, maybe he wants to showcase his portfolio. So the quotation goes personalized for each and everyone, and I think that's where we are able to click more clients, because we are very problem centric.
Also, we also try to understand what the client actually likes. Okay, so let's say, Anshul, you are a podcast. Okay, what do we call a person who does podcast?
Podcast host. Come on, guys. Okay. So I'm getting some tailor-made solutions for me on this channel. Okay, that's good to hear. Go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. So let's say you have a website and you want us to deliver you your social media links, all the connections, everything to be there on your website. So what we would suggest you to do is have a single page website with different sections in your whole page, with a separate contact form and separate form, like a separate page for your podcast. And the good thing is we could include the media player itself in your website, or if you want to increase the reach of your different channels, then we could just directly link it back to there. Or even if you want users to play it on your website and still get the references of your podcast services, then we can just embed whatever service. Let's say if your podcast are on SoundCloud, Google, so we could just embed those players directly to your website, and not to make it heavy. So it would be like directly played from their services. Let's say like Google, so the Google would be playing it, but it would be played on your website. So you would get the views from Google, even though it's on your website, and your website is not heavy. You just have 2 or 3 pages.
One thing I would like to interject, sorry to disturb the flow of thought, but I'm just trying to understand, let's say for customers, or I would say any business, or even for me. So let's say for an example, I'm doing this, okay, or for any business who's doing the work. But the one thing which constantly bugs any businessman or any product or any brand for that matter is that it is not getting too much hits, or it is not selling. Right? So those are the main problems, right? And I'm sure that is the main question that comes to you, that please increase my hits.
True.
Correct? And then you try to find the problem. Let's say you try to investigate and try to find out what exactly is the issue with the site. So if you had to give a I would not say crash course, I won't ask you to reveal your secrets, but what are the key things that you look for so that you can identify the problem? Because usually customers don't realize the problem. They just come and tell you that, okay, I'm not getting hits, give me more hits. Like it's like business is straightforward.
Anshul, I'll be honest with you. This is the perfect example. Whatever you said, the hit thing is the perfect example. So whenever a customer comes to us, he's like, yeah, I'm not getting more impressions, I'm not getting hits, I'm not getting more viewers on the site. It's not always about the viewers, it's about the conversion rate. How many viewers that comes to your site are actually getting or buying your service or using your services. Let's say your service is podcast, so you want to find out how many users come to your website. It's like a useless thing to know, but how many users listen to your podcast, that is your selling point. So that is the main criteria to consider for analytics. So because the good thing is, as I'm doing analytics, and even Dhaval has introduced Google Analytics to whatever website projects we take over. So whenever clients ask us how to improve their hits, we simply say that hits can be improved, but you need to look at the conversion rate. Because even if we did paid promotion, I'll be honest with you, Anshul, if you pay 160 rupees, you're gonna get 4,000 people to view your Instagram post. But how many people actually liked that post, that matters. Or what was the intention of the post? If the intention of the post was to save or comment, increase the comment, if it didn't do that, then whatever we did was a failed task. You understand my point?
Also, Anshul, so I will try to simplify it. Say, for example, a customer comes and he's facing some problem, and now we need to tell him what's the solution. So we will, probably I will ask him to see his own work or his own website or his own social media as a user. So, when you create something for yourself, now say, for example, you made this podcast, okay? Now, when you listen to it, you might see it as a little perfect because it's your baby. But when someone else listens to it, he will find, many imperfections. So when someone comes to me, I will ask him, see it as a user. Are you able to, relate with that content? Are you engaging with it? And that's what happens with our own Media Architects page as well. Now, say for example, I create my own post and then I see, but I'm not able to see any flaws because I created it with my own, full capacity. But then when the same post Maheep sees it, he says, "Nahi, ye text acha nahi hai. You should have done this. You should have done this," because he's seeing with a different perspective. So that really works for us because we try to see the problem as a end user, not someone who is very good at it or someone who is very
think like a customer. Think like a customer.
Makes sense. Okay, that's actually been a quite insightful conversation even for me, just to understand the social media world and how to interpret the data and all of that. Moving towards the end of the podcast, so let's try to understand one thing. First, I think the big question comes here is, given the current scenario of COVID, where the businesses are facing hit, and given that your business is digital in nature, so there are some upsides. But have you seen any impact of this scenario in the company or in the way it's progressing or the services that you might, let's say, push out?
So we are seeing a lot of client inquiries, but at the same time, what I see is that many people have jumped into this business. The people who even don't know anything about it, they have started their own pages or website and they say that we do digital marketing. So now what really happens is, because now there are a lot of people, the market is getting a bit saturated, and now say for example we quote a price which is higher and which really makes sense, but then because many people have jumped into this because of the COVID situation, the prices have gone down because customers come and they say, I have someone who will do it half the price. So I think that's ruining the industry. But at the same time, we get enough client inquiries, and they really know us, and if they really like our work, the client will get clicked eventually.
Yeah, like during Corona, everyone has taken a hit, to be on, like financially as well. So it's all about how they want to spend whatever they have, and if they could get the main basic services done in the lowest possible cost, they would prefer to do that instead of focusing on the longer run. Abhi what they want is some kind of jugaad to get through this phase, and then they want to, in future, if they really like the service, they might actually go and increase it to a higher level and actually make it to a professional level. But currently, I'll be honest, everyone is focusing on to get the work done.
Makes sense. Given the current financial scenario, there's nothing like specifically what we can do, but at least I can say from my end, like not to specifically you guys, but for everybody who's listening, if I have any influence whatsoever, howsoever a score of people might be listening this, but like if anybody who has needs of such services, do contact them, because I've known them personally, and the amount of talent they have, I sometimes get super jealous because I need to, I just wish that if I could have that skills of social media marketing or just having that presence of social media and photography, then it would have been great.
And Anshul, I have two things to slip in. First is if someone who is listening who is into digital marketing or social media, I would highly suggest him to watch this documentary which recently came out, the social dilemma. The social dilemma. So I think that's really, really, really good. It's very eye-opening. The facts which are stated, they're very eye-opening. And the second thing I want to talk about is startups in general. So during this COVID times, what I saw is, what I realized after graduating from college, what I realized is that all the amount of skills that I have, gained over the years, that is helping me out now. Like, people say that you should be master of one thing and not jack of all trades. So, there's this thing. But what I feel is you need to be jack of all trades first, and then you see what works for you and then be master on it. Don't settle for one thing, straight away, because it's really working for me. Because, when a client comes, so I'm a photographer at core, and now I know social media also, and I can make websites. But there's a joint in between. Say, for example, I'm making a website for a photographer, so I know what kind of pictures will work, how to edit those pictures to make them look good in the website, because I'm a photographer. And because I know coding, I'm able to make good websites. What I would suggest for anyone who's starting up is get as many skills as possible, because everything eventually connects. Get better at one thing, but gather all skills, as many skills as possible.
That's true. Yeah, so I was just gonna add on to saying that like most of the startups are not successful, but the experience which you gain is irreversible kind of thing. Like it's not a bad thing that you gain from like a startup. You have to be giving your best at what you do. Like enjoy what you do, even though initially it won't pay much. But if you really are enjoying it, you won't even feel it like a task. You would feel like your day-to-day activity. And if you can achieve that level, I don't think you need to worry about startups or anything. You will be enjoying the rest of your life working what you actually like.
Yes, your past experiences will help you out. Like even after working in Big Bang, I would say, because we were working in Big Bang, I would say now we are able to manage social media handles because we know how it worked before. So past experiences always work.
Yeah, like it's actually quite insightful, and it was lovely talking to you guys. Thank you guys for taking so much time. And someday, hopefully, I'll have the fortune of bringing you back again to discuss more about your personal lives. So if you know the crux of the podcast, I usually bring people one-on-one to discuss about their life, about their learnings, as we have, as we talked about right now. Everything that you do in life ultimately contributes to something. So, keep on following your passions, and that is how you learn about different things. So soon I'll bring them again.
Yeah, definitely.
And we'll have a lot of fun. But till then, thank you guys for coming, and thank you everybody for listening. Do follow them. I'll put all the websites and the Instagram links there. Sure, if you have any needs, do contact them. And I'm sure they'll be there in our Discord server, so join our Discord and visit our website and all of that, whatever is required to do. Because okay, fine, just join our Discord, because I think that is something which is very personal to me, because I am present there 24/7 talking to people and ideating different podcast ideas and different things and all of that. So come here, join me, have fun. And till then, thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Anshul.
Thank you to all the listeners. I'll catch up with you again soon with someone new and lots of interesting discussions. So, bye.